1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready.
Welcome to Straight Talk TV, the show that cares about you, where the information comes from the people to the people. And here's our host, Tony Brown.
Thank you, Steve. It's always a pleasure to be in your midst, everyone. Again, Straight Talk TV is the show that cares about you, where the information comes from you, the people, to the people. Before we get started with the show, please, everyone, stand in your heart and in your mind as we join Johanna and Steve McCoy performing the Black National Anthem. Remember, it's a marathon, people. We got to keep on pushing.
Yes, yes.
Is one. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought. Facing the rising sun, about the day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won. Is won. Is won.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
That's Johanna and Steve McCoy. People say, well, can you give us a little information on Juneteenth? And so I'm gonna drop a few little nuggets about Juneteenth history. But people, observation is your best teacher. Research is your best reward. Juneteenth. Let's look at Juneteenth a little bit. What is Juneteenth? How did Juneteenth get started? Well, a little history on Juneteenth. January 1st, 1863, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. Would apply to and free only to free enslaved people in the Confederate States, not all the states now. It did not apply to all the bordering states that succeeded the Union, okay? Now, in June 19th, 1865, there was a general, Granger, arrived in Texas and announced to the brothers and sisters that were enslaved 2.5 years, get this people, 2.5 years later, after President Lincoln enacted the Emancipation Proclamation. Also during that time, December 6, 1865, the 13th Amendment is ratified, officially adding all slavery, officially ending all slavery in the United States. Now, people, it said ending. So that's those before us, our great parents, grandparents, it was a law to enslave them. The 13th Amendment, it ratified. Now, do your research on this, people. Now, I'm going to move a little bit further up, and I want to talk a little bit about how it happened, how it became an enactment. There was a vice president, excuse me, there was a representative, Al Edwards, who viciously, and I mean that with the word, you said, why is you doing viciously? Because it was tough times then. They were fighting a lot in history to get this happen, to make this happen. He was a realtor, he was a broker, he was an activist. But he pushed to help get Juneteenth on the floor in the Senate where it could become at least recognized. Okay? The grandmother, Opal Lee, who fought viciously, persistently to get Juneteenth a holiday. It was not until President Biden signed it as an act of law, 1981, that it became an official holiday. But please continue to do your research during the month of Juneteenth. Don't stop at Juneteenth. Let's educate ourselves and familiarize ourselves and inform ourselves, whichever title you want to use, to understand the journey that got Juneteenth. So some of us celebrate, however you celebrate it, whether it's festivities, eating with loved ones, however you do it. But let's inform ourselves about the history of this, because it was not always history. It wasn't always the way that we see it today, where we can just get together, throw a parade, throw a festival, or do whatever we do. It has not always been that way. And keep this in mind, people. And I'm gonna have a gentleman coming on, not today, but I believe in August, and we're gonna be talking about how this act that President Joe Biden signed can be removed again. And we're going to get into that. And I appreciate, baby, I wanted to share a little bit with you about the Juneteenth, like I always like to share, because people ask me questions when I see them. So I do my best to research a little bit. Research is your best teacher. Observation, your best teacher. Research is your best reward. We have a young man he's pioneering in his own way too. He's an author. He is a podcaster. He's also an activist in the community in his own way through his podcast. And we like to feature our young people because we're always hearing something negative about our young folks. But this young man he's in a good space. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Isareal Hammond to Straight Talk. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. How you doing today, Tony?
And you know, I say I'm too blessed to stress, protecting my peace, and serving the people.
Appreciate you for
That's
having
what
me.
we're doing. That's what we're doing. Yes.
Yes, sir. Everyone's coming for peace.
Yes.
So you got to protect your own. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. What I'd like you to do is just share a little bit about your journey with the people so they can get an understanding of who you are, kind of a little bit about your travel, and then we're going to get into what you're doing now and future events, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. So my name is Isareal, also known, my moniker is Izzy Israel. That's poetry.
Okay.
Poetry is
We like that.
poetry is one of the first aspects of creativity that really pushed me into the forefront of understanding what it means to take ownership of your gifts, talents, and abilities. So I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. Moved to Portland, Oregon in 2012. So there was a bit of a culture shock for sure. But my family always told me to continue to do whatever makes you feel empowered to make the world a better place, and then also vocation. So I believe in God and grew up in the church, and there's a lot of tug of war I had to deal with to kind of get to this place. I think there's a corporate sense of what religion should be, and then there's the personalization of that. And for me, I didn't understand how to communicate that without sounding anti-God or sounding pro-secular. I just didn't really know how to do that. And so poetry was one of the first places I kind of had an opportunity to talk to people through my process. And I think that was one of the first steps. And as I was growing up, though, I was homeschooled. So my mom had us in a very strict schedule. So it was doing acting and all those types of things growing up. So the arts was always intentional. My grandparents were teachers. And so yeah, I think that would kind of give more context as to how I got here. I think in terms of full expression, my dad was an entrepreneur, and that kind of gave me that thought process of, I can kind of carve out my slice of the pie, and figure out what that means for myself, and tie that to vocation, tie that to my faith, tie that to who I believe I am. And so, acting was my first love.
Okay.
And then it turned into poetry in college. I walked away from basketball, and it was a crucial moment in my life where I could have gone a lot of different directions. And I felt God gave me a fork in the road. He was like, you can choose. You can go the career route and basketball and all that, or you can figure out what my purpose for you is. And that second part was not as attractive at the time. I'm gonna be very honest about that. It wasn't like I was like, yeah, let me, let me choose the right. No, I saw the sacrifice in my choice, and there was no guarantee that there was going to be a manifested reward for me in doing that. Sometimes God leads you in certain directions that goes against what you want, and you have to be okay with whatever that looks like, for me at least. And so that brought me into a lot of different places and spaces. And so acting and emceeing, hosting, authorship, podcasting, and God was just showing me that the gifts and talents that he gives each and every individual is very special to them. And there's a way to do it authentically. And so Izzy is real is why I took that moniker on, and brought me to this place in space. I hope that was enough to kind of condense it for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I think a lot of times, I can give all the accolades out for people
Hmm.
and read their bios, which I do when people send them, and I kind of get the conversation started. But I
Hmm.
think people in general appreciate more hearing from that person,
Mm.
their journey, their path, what moved them in a certain direction. And particularly as a young man, my question would be to you is, what was that like to make that move away from, because we have a lot of us just going to the athletic world, which is
Hmm.
good.
Hmm.
It's a talent, it's a gift.
Hmm.
Also, they can use that as a business. And I hope a lot of them do that. But for
Hmm.
you to make that move, what was that like? Was there a lot of peer pressure there, or what was that like for you?
That's a good question. So my parents played ball.
Okay.
Again, I'm from Charlotte, so that's basketball nation. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where, Jordan's from North Carolina. You have Duke, NC State, UNC, Chapel Hill. Everything's right in that corridor there. And I grew up loving the game.
Okay.
Watched Steph Curry play in high school. He played my older brother in high school. So it's like
Okay.
there's a lot of pride that I take in hoop, and my dad was an All-American, went to USC Aiken. And so for me, I'm like, all right, my older brother is doing good. My dad can play. And I was a late bloomer.
Okay.
So I had to fight to get good. My dad had the craziest jumper, my
Right.
brother too. And
Wow.
so being young, I just had to get good at defense because I'm not getting the ball if we playing pickup and is
Everybody else casting before
everybody else
you.
I'm
Right.
not I'm not getting the rock at all,
Right.
and so I ended up in high school getting all conference defensive player of the year,
Okay.
and
Congrats.
so
Congrats to that.
appreciate that. And so then I get to college and I get a full ride academic leadership multicultural scholarship to George Fox University out here in Oregon. And I walked on, and the coach was like, "Hey, we want you. You made the team." And then it got political after that, and I was like,
Right.
I'm here on an academic scholarship. I'm not here on a basketball scholarship. So that game didn't have to affect me so much, which
Right.
was a blessing in disguise. And walking away, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had a hard like for it was like a month. I was in I would say a state of just grieving
Oh
the
my.
sport.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like I had never grieved an inanimate thing like that before. You know, it felt like I lost my girlfriend or something. Like that's like that's how it felt.
Right.
Um and in that moment though, I feel like my relationship with God made it to where I could even see that as a dynamic, right? Like if I had been very about my own agenda and not trying to listen to and be sensitive to those types of conversations, I don't think I would have felt even confident in making that hard decision or found it worthwhile.
Right. Right.
And so the feeling in the midst of it was like I'm losing myself because I put so much of my life into hoop. I'm talking sacrificing going out of state. I'm talking about sacrificing seeing family, birthdays, get-togethers, friendship gatherings. Like I'm giving up all of this sleep, food, um, just to make sure I can get to these different things to where I can further my basketball career. And to walk away from that when I'm so close and I was peaking in college. Like that was the craziest part. Like I was running, doing the really great doing really great
Yeah.
to
Right.
where the guys on the team were like, "Yo, you need to play with us this year. We need you here." You know, and I mean, granted it was a D3 school. However, I felt confident that I could take it from there and build my way through. And the pride in me was like, I'm not about to throw all of this away just because I'm gonna go figure out what life is. Like that don't make sense to me. If I'm gonna be honest, you know. And when I made that choice though, the thing that got me was I have always been a seeker of truth and I've always been a seeker of real. And I could not stomach moving forward in hoop and giving up this opportunity to look into what I have going on. I don't know what's going on. So sorry. Um, I couldn't give this up because it it was hard. It was hard to look at the other side and say, "Hey, you could become a better person. You could find out the aspects of your life that you may not have the opportunity to because you're giving it to the sport." And yeah, it was in that moment that I felt impressed upon to like sit back and say, hey, who you say you are, who your parents raised you to be an honest man, an honest person, moving in the right direction, you're going to give all that up for what? For a basketball dream? If you boil it down, if you bring it all the way down to its most finite for a basketball dream, that still might not happen. And
Mhm.
if it does happen, there is a level of responsibility on you to stay genuine to who you know yourself to be. And
Absolutely.
I couldn't answer that part of who am I in that. I didn't even know.
Right. Right. Well, first of all, I want to say respect on getting that scholarship because if people interview, not interview, but if they research, back to research people,
Mhm.
George Fox, it's not easy to get in there.
Mhm.
It's not easy to get in there. So again, respect on that. But what I heard from you because of that move that you made in that process of really understanding who you were, you at a platform now. And I want to get into the platform a little bit
Okay.
because people, we can't capture this young man's life in a few minutes because it's powerful. But we did want to touch on a little bit. Now you done moved into this space now. Now, can you touch on if you're ready, or let me know when you're
Mhm.
ready to do a little poetry? Because I know people say,
Mhm.
"Well, I thought he said he dropped some poetry." You ready to
Mhm.
drop some lyrics?
I could drop some lyrics right
Go
now.
ahead,
Yes,
drop
sir.
some right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I had a couple pieces in mind for this.
Okay.
I have my go-to in my back pocket
Okay.
that I was thinking about. Then I had another one that was a little bit more vulnerable. Do you mind if I share two?
You got it.
Okay. Okay. So this first one is called Flow State. This is the one that's I've most recently written. And it's just a more vulnerable piece, and I hope y'all enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
I got it in my trusty
Okay.
writer's notebook right here. As I look through old poems, there was hope in finding an unfinished conversation. Truthfully, I didn't want to start a real thought process or share vulnerably, for I have gotten real comfortable with the poet equally thinking creatively with me. I'm reflective right now because of this internal dialogue I wish to share with you. This one comes every year, and now I'd rather speak to you with truth through my looking glass in my wonderland, like Allison Hargreaves whispering to you, while there is no rumor I can let you in on my secrets, or 2 times a year I can honestly say I am hardest on myself mentally, habitually aiming at the top of the year and callously judging my end at the gun range of performance's main stage. I project visualized dreams with goals and look back to see if I stayed on the same page.
Talk to us.
Now, sometimes life be life, and well, I'd be lying if I said that wasn't my go-to, because I don't be trying, like accountability, consistency, efficacy to the max every day of the year. But did I get closer to a goal while limiting the same mistakes? For my best assessment at the end of the quarter or year, look, I'm reaching an age where I'm settled most in the version of the person I am. I'm finishing the mourning process of the young man I have been. Laying him to rest was probably the hardest thing I've done, and in hindsight has helped me with noticing now how God has kept me in his hands as long as I ever could tell or even know how. Confusing, yes, but so is life. This is 1 in a million shot of spontaneous combustion, and I'm the one who made it through. Gifts, talents, and abilities are only singular when God endorses them chasing you, but it is then a collective use when you live in purpose the way only you can do. Because a village is what it takes to make sense of the person who was uniquely designed to handle the clutches of life as such. Worry is a curse and insecurity its crutch. Words are the roots to apply life wherever it hurts. Herbs of speech are needed now more than we realize. Actions of intent speak louder than verbiage formalized. So speak with your hands, with your mouth, with your feet. Run swiftly towards healing, no matter how often you meet defeat. For sure as there is sun, you can be sure there is pain. Pain as the soil enriched by tears and intrusive rain. See, he trades his beauty for ashes, a life of destruction with things we all willfully obtain. For sure as the moon evolves with light over time, seasons are never bleak forever. Whether full or crescent, we weather the weather. Even wordplay has meaning with the rhyming word scheme enjoying. It's clever. Never say never. Again, watch closely what you say. God created us with his measure of likeness in our DNA. And whoever created ice cubes, I thank you, because now I can play with words and letters today while sipping on the tea of life, knowing every day can be a good day. As a free guy, I just have to pray and watch God lay play by play of my life before him, giving me max on an uncapped parlay. Now, I know I've done a lot of talking and my age is starting to show, but this year, listen close. This year, I'm wise enough to know that you are never too old to grow. Even if wrinkles don't show, now my secrets you know. Each one teach one. And so now I'd love to learn how you can help me by sharing your version of life in whatever its state of flow.
Oh my goodness, brother, that was powerful. But I could see you on the stage slamming that. Yeah, for real, for real, for real. What I want to do is also, what motivated you at that moment to write that piece, and then we'll get into the other piece real quick.
Yeah. So this piece, man, I had an event that I was invited to speak at. So typically, when I have an event, I write for that event. I like to challenge myself creatively that way. It's very easy to go with the one in the tug that you know you can do the thing with. And I was writing and I was going through my old poems. I have so many that I haven't even thrown out there into the world yet. And I just I felt like, hey, hold on. You can either be vulnerable
Mhm.
or you can go with a message that you know is going to hit. Now, either one is doable. Either one is fine. Like there's not a better or worse way to do it.
Mhm.
But one of the things that I've always felt convicted about is if I'm saying Izzy is real, if I am choosing poetry as my art form choice, I have the accountability to ensure that I am keeping my heart close to the pen versus hiding behind the theatrics of what I know can make listeners feel good. That's the short
Absolutely.
and dirty for
Now,
it.
also, while we got, because I want you to come back because I know
Okay.
I want you to do another point, but I want you to
Mhm.
come back. But before we go, can you
Okay.
touch on some of the events that you got going on, your
Yes.
podcast, get that information out to the people,
Yes, most definitely, most definitely. So I
and
touched
that
on it.
book, and that book.
Yes.
Drop it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
So I'll go in that order. I'll go in the reverse order you said. So for the book, you can go to Amazon. It is titled Head and Heart, colon, A Journey Inward. That is a book authored by myself, self-published. The name would be under my moniker, which is Izzy is Real. So you can find that on Amazon. And then for the podcast, you can go to YouTube, find me at Israel Hammond, and then you'll see the first episode that I have posted there. We have more on the way, so super excited about that. That is actually through Pose Pro Studio, excuse me, which is a studio I'm a part of here in Portland. They do great work. We have a lot of things going on there. You can go to poseprostudios.com and find out more of what we do there. And then in terms of
The events.
acting, yes, yes. So for acting, the Into the Woods is what World Stage Theater, a local theater company out here, black owned, wonderful, woman led, woman owned, like it's a blessing to be a part of. There's a show Into the Woods August 17th. And then for my clothing brand, Godfidence Apparel, we have events coming up in Portland this coming July.
Okay, well, you know we got to have you come back. You got to drop some more bars, and then we
Yes,
got to
sir.
get into the clothing line too as well. And
Yes,
please
sir.
keep us. What's the young lady that you said that she's a wonderful lady? I want to give a shout out to her.
Shalonda, oh, the wonderful, oh, Sunshine.
Sunshine, yeah,
Yes.
yes,
Thank you so much, Sunshine.
absolutely, Sunshine, yes. Well, we're gonna have you back, and if you want to stay in the green room and watch it, we got a legend coming on too as well. And get back with us. We're gonna get back with you. We're gonna get you back where you can
Yes,
drop
sir.
some more, you can slam some more of that poetry for us and keep up
Hmm.
what you're doing with the programs
Hmm.
and the clothing line. Powerful young entrepreneur. I hear it. I hear it. I see you. Much respect. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir.
Talk to you soon.
Hey, it's also Tony. I'm gonna have to jet, unfortunately, but I would love to come back on and we can have that conversation for sure.
Word is bond. Appreciate you.
Yes,
Respect.
sir.
Okay. Talk
Yes,
to you.
sir.
Okay. We're gonna go to a break. Appreciate you. Have a blessed day. When we come back, we're gonna be talking to a pioneer. They called him. Well, I'm gonna let him tell you what they call him. But he is a journey. He's a pioneer in his journey, and he's still doing it. Thank you for tuning in to Straight Talk TV. It is the show that cares about you, where the information comes from the people. This next gentleman, Mr. Ali Hackett, he's affectionately known in the Tri-City as the King of Oldies. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the King of Oldies. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
Oh man, I say too blessed to stress, protecting my peace and serving the people. That's what
That's why I asked you that. That's exactly why I ask you that every time. I like that line you got there. I like that.
you can drop it anytime. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing, sir? But
I'm doing well. Man. God is good all the time. You know
all
what I
the
mean?
time, I want to read something for the people because I was just like, sometimes people don't understand people's journeys and where they've been. Oh, I salute you, sir. He's a veteran.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you have interviewed some people. So
Well,
I can
yeah,
read them out, but
yeah.
hearing it from the person to the people, I think it touches the people more. Go ahead and read out some of the people that you interviewed. Starting with the
Well,
champ. Yeah.
the list. Well, I used to live with Muhammad Ali. I lived
Okay.
with him for a couple of years,
Okay.
training and boxing, what have you. But in this music business,
Yeah.
which is my love, my
Yes.
super love. Yes, yes, you know what I mean. I've had the pleasure of having people like Leon Huff from Philadelphia International,
Yeah.
Martha Reeves from Martha and the Vandellas, the late Jerry Butler, the Iceman. Marshall, who is still living, from the last member of the Shawlights. We can go all around. Gene Chandler, if you will. Gene Carn from Philadelphia. The Mad Lads from Tennessee. Isaac Hayes before he passed away. The list goes. I mean, there's so many in my, and I'm so blessed
Yeah.
to these people I call my friends.
Yeah.
I can pick up my phone and just call them and say, hey, I'm not calling for an interview. I'm calling to just see how you're doing. Happy birthday to you. How the children? Merry Christmas. You know what I mean? So I built a rapport with these folks, which is just so awesome, man. It truly, truly is.
It is. It is. Now, people say, okay, but what led you into this? Because you're a veteran, you didn't serve, you went to college, got a psychology degree. Is that correct? Psychology
That
degree?
is correct. That is
Yes.
correct.
What led you into the music? It's a passion, but what did the king of oldies say? You know what? I'm gonna get all the way in this.
Well, it started out actually at a very, very young age.
Okay.
My mom used to have a Friday night fish fry for her girlfriends.
Oh my goodness.
And you know, they would come, and to tell you how far back this goes, they were drinking Ballantine beer and Schlitz beer. That's stuff that ain't even on the market no more. So my job was to come down and play the music. That's how I got bit. Because once they started drinking that beer and talking how bad their husbands was treating them, and their eyes rolled back in the head, and I put on Dr. Feelgood, I had them hooked. You know what I'm saying? So I was hooked, they were hooked, and that's actually how I started. And listening to legends here in Philadelphia like Georgie Woods and Jimmy Bishop and Jocko Henderson and people like that, and from out your way, man, I just forgot his name. I just forgot his name. It'll come back to me. But listening to folks like that, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. Entertain people with the music, because I have my way of playing. And from Georgie Woods and Jimmy Bishop and some of these, I just took a little bit from them to create my own style. And creating my own style, that's how I became hooked, immersed, and I wanted to do the best I can. And if you do, the way you do that is to study, read, cross-check, and like you say, research. That's what I did. Absolutely. That's what I did.
Now, I want to give much respect to a program that you started in the parks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to give respect to that, because was that Malcolm X Park?
Malcolm X Park was the first one that I started at. Yes.
Yeah, share
and it was, well, first of all, I was hosting the Del East here in Philadelphia. I was hosting that, and the people came out to support me. I was with WHAT radio at the time. People came out to support me because I mimicked some of the other legendary jocks, if you will. And when that ended, I told a good friend of mine, a young lady by the name of Helen, who had a business called Stress Free Travel. I said, Helen, I want to give something back to the community because they supported me. So I said, I want to do a one-night thank you oldie show in the park. Malcolm X is a huge park. They have never had that many people in the park on a Friday night from 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock ever. They've never had that many people. And all I did was bring my equipment out, set up and play oldies. Another big night, and I'm gonna do this real quick. Another big night, we had a bump contest between West Philly and South Philly. We had over 6,200 people in the park.
Yes.
And people were just bopping. The older folks brought their lawn chairs out. They just came out and they reminisced on the music. The younger people went over and they were watching the older people do the bop, the cha-cha, the twist, and I asked trivia questions. Man, it was a ball. So I took that from West Philadelphia, then I took it to South Philadelphia, then I took it to my hometown, Chester, Pennsylvania. It was immense everywhere it went, everywhere. Then politics got involved, and I told him, I said, I have to back out because I don't do politics.
Right, right. You want to keep it real, 100. As they say.
Exactly.
You want to keep it
Exactly.
100. Yes, but we have a video that we can pull up. It kind of shares a little bit about a rap. You want to kind of segue into why the engineer's pulling
Sure.
that up?
The golden age of disc jockeys was like mid 60s to let's say 72, 73. Every jock that you listen to on the radio had his own rap. Well, as I told you, I listened to some of the legends and I created my own rap. And
Right.
that's what this is.
Okay. Yeah, you know, some of the people probably say, well, what are you talking about, jock? We're not talking about hoopers. That's what they called them back then. Yeah, we call them DJs now spinning whatever, but they
That's
called
right.
them jocks back then. Engineer, can you go ahead and pull that up, please, sir? And while he's pulling that up, I became an annual event for a while too. I mean, it was just like,
Well, no, it was weekly. It was weekly.
yes.
Every week on Friday nights at Malcolm X.
Mhm.
And then when I moved to other places, it was weekly there as well.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Good evening, and I'd like to say howdy, howdy to each and everybody. Yours truly, the king of oldies. Ali is my name, music's my game, and oldies are my claim to fame. We're gonna turn back the hands of time for the next couple of moments or so, going back into the 50s and the 60s. Back into the days when men were men, and ladies were so glad that they were. Talking about the old days, baby. Days of the bop, the cha-cha, the twine, and the twist. Days we had big fun and did it all just like this. Standing on the corner drinking wine, watching the girls go by. Standing there with your khaki pants, 3 diamond socks. High boy with extra starch around the collar of the cuff. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody out there say, yeah! Talking about the old days, baby. Come on, let's go back. Let's go back to the days that everybody under 16 had a head full of waves. Lots of royal crown on the top side. And if you was over 16, you had a do-rag hanging in your back pocket on the right side with Murray's pomade upstairs. Old days, baby, let's go back. Ladies, don't go nowhere. Sit tight and hang right. I'll be back at you in just a minute. But I'm talking about the days the gasoline was 19 cents a gallon. Hers potato chips were 5 cents. Tasty cakes were 10 cents. Comic books were 10 cents. Talking about the old days, baby. Ladies! Talking about it every morning. 7 o'clock. You got up and it took you 20 minutes to put your girdle on. Oh, somebody say something, baby. Oh! Come on, let's go back to the days. Drinking Ripple Mad Dog 2020 Silver Satin Valley High Night Train. And if you got low down and funky, talking about Thunderbird, that super chicken. Come on, let's go back. Let's go back, baby. Let's go back to the days of the parties in people's basement. Little red light bulb glowing all night long. And I know all you brothers remember, simply because that's the days we had to lick the Dixie Peach out the girls' ears to get the rap started. Old days. Let's go back to the days of the parties in people's basement. Little red light bulb glowing all night long. Yeah, I know you remember, baby. Let's go back to the days you had one pair of shoes and it was called your Sunday shoe. And if you got a hole in the bottom, you tucked the top of the Kellogg's cornflake box, put it in the bottom, and kept on walking anyway. Old days. Come on, let's go back to the choke sandwiches. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Mayonnaise. I didn't say mayonnaise. I said mayonnaise sandwich. Come on, let's go back. Days when jeans was called dungarees. Old days. Come on, baby. Once again, Ali is my name. Music, that's my game. Oldies are my claim to fame. We're going to get on down with the soulful sounds of the late, great Junior.
Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
Respect, much
Thank you
respect.
so much.
I mean, I know who's ever hearing this and viewing this, ain't no doubt in my mind that something hit them. Like,
Oh, no
my
question.
goodness.
No question, bro. No question. It's
Right.
all good stuff that brought us to where we are today. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes. Now, how did you come up? I mean, that was some history. That was a lot of history
Yes.
right there.
Yes.
And-
Yes.
Yeah. What moved you in that space? You know, to kind of just put all that together.
I lived it. I
Okay,
lived it
There
all.
you go. There you go.
I lived it all. You know, we hadn't even got to the government cheese sandwiches, which was the
Right.
best cheese on earth. You know what I'm saying? We haven't even got to but I lived all of that, and I wanted to make it again. Every jock had his rap, and it was something catchy, and it was something, you know, a little bit funny. Well, all of that's funny. Every woman over 50 years old remembers tugging them girdles up one side to the other side. Every woman. And every time I said, they just laugh, they fall out because they remember that. Now, a young girl under 45, she don't know nothing about that.
Right.
She don't know nothing about that. But, and you know, I had to help pull my mother into her girdle helpers from time to time. You know what I'm saying? So it's you know, the red and blue light in the basement.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we all know about that stuff, man. It's stuff that we can all relate to of this age bracket.
Absolutely. And you know, when I hear that, I remember how peaceful it was as well.
Absolutely. We had our fights because you had this corner fighting that corner, whatever, but there was a fight and then you go home. It wasn't the killing and the shooting and all. It wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? I remember a fight in school would last a week sometime because y'all better come home and get dinner. You had to go home and eat dinner. And then come back and fight the next day.
Yeah, I'll see you a little later, man. Because
exactly correct.
I mean,
exactly.
Yes, sir. And as someone in the music business right now, not right now, but in the music business, if you would speak to what has been, and I had an author on my show, her name was Precious Shepherd, and she talked about the disconnect.
Wow. That's a hell of a question. And I don't know if number one, if we got enough time to answer it, but number two, the music that I play, which is considered the oldies, not old school, because I don't know what the hell old school is. But the oldies. We had a couple of different topics. Boy loves girl, girl loves boy, let's fall in love. That's it. Now you had your novelty song like the Name Game and you know, stuff like that. That was it. Now they're talking about my umbrella, whatever it is, don't work, and you know, calling women out of their names and what. So that to me is just totally out there, man. It's out there. Now our oldies, we know what they were. What are the oldies going to be like for these young kids today?
Right.
Okay. Hammer, when Hammer came out, he was a big deal. Now he's like tossed aside. Nobody even knows who he is. His pants was on sale. You can't even find his pants now. You know? So I'm just giving you an example. I don't know if we have enough time to that. And the artist that I just had Billy Brown from Ray Goodman and Brown on Friday. Just had him on my podcast.
Must be a special lady.
Yes. Just had him on. Just had him on Friday. And these are the people that I talk to. I dig them up. Those that are living, you know, I dig them up and try them come on. And Billy Brown said the same thing. They're trying to stay relevant in the music business because that's what they do. But they have to sort of sometimes change their objective. But there's guys that haven't changed. The Four Tops never changed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Temptations went along with the movie, you know, from My Girl to Psychedelic Shack to, you know, Just Treat Her Like a Lady. They changed, but they're still their basic Temptations. You know what I'm saying? Even though some members have passed on and new members come in, it's about the music being true to itself. That's my goal. I'm true to myself and I'm going to stay that way until I play my last record.
Oh man, I hear you. Respect. And I was looking at something about Salt and Pepper. You had something going on?
Salt, Pepper, and Memories is my TV show.
Yes.
One day I just decided, I said, after watching some of these Dancing on the Air and Georgie Wood Show and whatever, I said, that's what I wanted to do. So I went to chef school and I became a chef.
What?
So I decided to add 3 things that our people love together. And I don't mean our people just as black people. People love together. People love to eat.
Yes.
People love good music and they love to dance. Yes. So I created a show called Salt, Pepper, and Memories, and that's what it is. And mind you, brother, if you don't mind me telling you, the 27th of September of this year, God has blessed me to have my 10th year anniversary. The show has never been off the air since its inception 10 years ago. So that is a blessing, and I'll tell you right now, God is so good. I really am appreciative of that.
All the time, respect. All the time, respect. Yeah. What you got coming up? Let's talk a little bit about what you got coming up and how the people can tune into you.
Well, you can always go to my website, which is
Okay.
olliehacketpresents.com, and check out
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
Every Wednesday night is my TV show called Salt, Pepper, and Memories. It comes on phillycam. My website has it there, but phillycam.org/watch at 7 o'clock. Thursday night is my rememberthenradio.com show from 8 p.m. till 12 midnight. Rememberthenradio.com. You can check it out. Friday night, I got two things going on. One, the live podcast, which is Music Lovers LTD. We do that from 8:55 till 10 o'clock, and that can be any artist. This coming Friday, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
This coming Friday, I have the legendary Candy Staten coming on.
My goodness.
Young Hearts Run Free. She'll be my guest this coming
goodness.
Friday. Okay. She is a sweetheart. She really, really is. Then after that, immediately after that at 10 o'clock, from 10 p.m. till 2 a.m., WPPM 106.5 FM or phillycam.org/listen. I'm on the radio playing the oldies there.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I know people probably hearing, I'm hearing it too. What is it like to be in that space, in that energy with the legends, with the sometimes I say legend, I kind of feel like we saying they old or something, but to be in that space with those veterans like that.
It's an awesome feeling because these are the people that we idolize growing up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna share a real quick story, which I'm very, very happy about. I was at WHAT radio, and on Sundays when I came on, I would make it my goal to do a show on a particular artist. This month, I did a show on Marvin Gaye. I went all the way back to the very beginning, the fights what he had with his dad, the people I talked to people down there where he lived at. Then when Harvey Fuqua picked him up and took him to Motown, he became a Sessions drummer. I did all of that in a month. Somehow or another, and to this day I don't know how, Barry Gordy's sister, the late Miss Esther Gordy, got a hold of my show and listened to it. One night she called me on the air. She called me 6 times because I hung up on her 6 times. I didn't believe who it was. But when I finally got to her, we talked to her, and she invited me to come to Motown to participate in the very first tribute to Marvin Gaye. Smokey Robinson was the host. I was the co-host. Man, I'm telling you, I was like a kid in a candy factory up there, you know? So that's where I became friends with Martha Reeves. I became friends with the Contours, a lot of those folks up there. And my long distance true love was Brenda Holloway, and I met her that night too.
Oh my goodness.
It is a blessing to rub elbows with them. It's even more of a blessing that I can pick up the phone and say, hey, how you doing? Now, my favorite groups are the Spinners and the Dells, and they're shut down now. There's a group of Spinners out, but all of the original ones are gone, except G.C. Cameron. G.C. Cameron's the only one that's left. And I'm getting ready to have him come back on the show pretty shortly.
Oh man, definitely keep us informed, so we can jump on and watch that. I mean, because just being in that space and watch you in your space, in your lane, and just talking with the veterans, talking with the people, the pioneers. I'm going to say the pioneers.
That's what they were. That's what they were.
Yeah, no matter how they changed the music, whatever spin they put on it, they used to spin records, ain't that something? Yeah. Whatever they put, it still goes back to the root.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Change the root. It just gets stronger.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. You might have some different branches coming off of different fruits, but it's still the root.
Yes, sir. It sure is.
Yeah.
And I'm here as long as God gives me breath to keep it that way.
Oh, we appreciate you. And I know it's going to be many, many more years. We'll love to have you come back. Keep us informed. It's just been a blessing to be in your space, sir.
I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate the invite.
My shout out to Professor Lode. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful lady. Shout out for her too, because she connected. She said, you might want to interview this gentleman. I said, well, I'm always reaching out because, Straight Talk, we catch the past, present, and the future.
Right.
So however we can be a part of that, and we're there. Just to keep us.
Well, I appreciate your show, brother, and I appreciate you reaching out for me. And I'd love to come back. I would love to come back.
It'd be a blessing. It'd be a blessing. Ladies and gentlemen, please say a virtual thanks and appreciation.
Ollie Hackett. Thank you so much, everybody. I do appreciate it. Love you all. And lastly, our music will never, ever, ever die.
Oh, my goodness. The king of the oldies, Mr. Ollie Hackett. Thank you, sir. Be blessed.
Thank you, my brother. Bye now.
Bye now. Again, we thank you for tuning into Straight Talk. It truly is the show that cares about you, where the information comes from you. And you just saw that, to the people. Tell somebody you love. Remember, it's a marathon. It's a marathon. We got to keep on. And one of them great artists said, keep on pushing. We got to keep on pushing, people.
Curtis Mayfield.
There you go. There you go. Thank you. Everybody have a blessed day. Appreciate you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready.